Say his name and he appears. We believe in Joe Hendry. And well done to Joe Hendry for still being #1 in the Apple iTunes chart as by the UK charts as of recording this. But TNA Wrestling crossed the line again with another hard-hitting, action-packed episode of Impact. The go home before tonight's Under Siege. You will have seen on our channel already Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, the system preview that match along with some other things. An exclusive interview we conducted with them earlier this week. Big thanks to TNA, TNA UK, Cy Rothstein, and Brian and Eddie for the opportunity to speak to them the other day. It was great, great fun. Now, Impact Wrestling kicked off with a recap of last week's promo. Nick Nemeth's one and Matt Hardy's one. And if you remember, it just led to them taking shots at Nemeth about it being Eric Angle and people like that. It couldn't even be Kurt Angle. We could rarely do Eric Angle, which was quite an interesting and funny line, really, from the system last week. We get a preview of tonight's big main event, Jordan Grace, Miyu Yamashita main event. I'm not going to pronounce that name again for the rest of the show. In the main event, AJ Francis was in the VIP booth with B Bun to kick off, with Bun B to kick off. And he said he would take Joe Hendry's apology surrounded by beautiful women and a money-making entourage. Why do I think this isn't going to go well for AJ Francis? It kicks off, though. Mustafa Ali, Chris Bay, non-title match. What a way to kick off with the show with two excellent talents working in a very fast-paced, high-energy encounter like you would imagine with these two. They brought on a hell of an opening match. Considering the two guys involved and how good they are, this was not just good, this was great. In this, Chris Bay looked strong in this match as well, which, the ending of the match, he hit the Bay car, he goes to the top rope. Ali's security's there, they hit him with the flag behind the ref's back, and then Ali hits the 450 to finish the match itself. But you know what? Bay looked strong. Ali's getting that heeled interference for the victory. It was a very good, effective booking for what they needed it to do. It done a job. The match was great. And Ali will go on to face either Chris Bay's partner, Ace Austin, or Trey Miguel at Under Siege. I believe that match will be coming up a bit later on Impact. We move on to the Brit, Danny Luna, one half of Spitfire against Alicia Edwards. Now, this match is in preparation for the Knockouts Tag Team title match at Under Siege, in which Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Fret will go up against Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich. And this match was a really good back and forth, hard-hitting encounter. What I would say about this match, though, the match was all about the angle at the end here. And it wasn't necessarily a long match, but it done its purpose. Now, what happened was Danny was going to go for the Luna landing. Masha gets up on the apron. Jody Fret pulls her down. Alicia then dives into a drop kick onto Jody, and at that point, the ref is distracted. Masha comes into the ring to slam Luna down with the snowplow, and Alicia gets the pin, meaning one half the Knockouts Tag Team Champions has been pinned the day before they defend their titles. So Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich have got into the head, really, of the Tag Team Champions with that win, and it's going to prove to be a very interesting match. Will Alicia Edwards bring more gold home for the system so that all members have the gold come the end of Under Siege? We will have to wait and see. A bit later on, Under Siege is available on Thriller TV and a TNA Plus app for everybody. We will be reviewing that. That will be up on Monday, I think, on the channel. So we'll look forward to that. I'm looking forward to watching it tonight, for that matter. DMTV, Death Machine TV, was next with the returning Sami Callihan. It was the first episode. He said people can spit without getting fired and he can say what he wants. He's here. He's back in TNA for one reason, and that's to right the wrongs of the past. All the idiots and false prophets in the back don't have a clue. He doesn't believe in reruns. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, then. Very, very interesting with Sami Callihan and what the future holds for him on TNA. But it is great to see Sami back on Impact Wrestling. What does the future hold? for Sami Callihan. We will have to wait and see. Cody Deaner is now at the back. He cuts a promo before the match that he had a battle against Hammerstone, that he talked to Santino. They can add a stipulation. He said Hammerstone has only been TNA a couple of months, but he's pandering the worst thing that he sees. If Hammerstone says if he wants a stipulation, it can be arm wrestling match. Deaner would prefer something crazier. And anything goes, no DQ, Sin City street fight. Hammerstone doesn't like it, but it's not their choice. It's the people's choice. And the people want to see the street fight, which happens right now. My God, this was a war. This was an absolute war. There was table spots. There was everything you could imagine. This Hammerstone, though, with the torture rack, picks up the victory. He did chokeslam Deaner through a table near the end of it as well. They really worked the stipulation well with the street fight here as well. Deaner was such a good underdog in this. Hammerstone picks up the victory to gain momentum for his big match with Jake Something Under Siege as well. Really good street fight. I really enjoyed it. Hammerstone never ceases to amaze me. Cody Deaner did actually do more than what I would have thought he would have done in this match, and he had a really good showing. So Cody Deaner, after Under Siege, we'll see what the future holds for him as well. Hammerstone did keep the torture rack on post-match until Jake Something comes out. They have a little brawl as well. Yeah, and they break it up. So interesting. So there was a video, Nick Nemeth, his neck is injured and he can't compete Under Siege. Matt Hardy shows up and he can't take Nick's pain, but he can take his place. And Santino has made it official. Matt Hardy will take Nick Nemeth's place at Under Siege, like we spoke to the system about the other day. So Matt Hardy will be replacing Nick Nemeth in that match. It'd be interesting, to say the least, what the Broken One will have to do Under Siege. Can he get the victory for his team? Can he even pin the TNA World Champion Moose to really stake his claim for the Tag Team Championship? They also, as his teammates, of Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven, Speedball Mountain along his side. And speaking of Speedball Mountain, there was a bit where Trent Seven at the back with Mike Bailey, and he says the system needs to be taken down. And Bailey was saying that the system, it's time for them to be deleted. Matt said that he's making Mike and Trent honorary members of the House of Hardy as Trent the Seventh and the Ball of Speed. It's good to have broken Matt Hardy back, isn't it? And they're going to render the system obsolete Under Siege. Will they, though? That will be remains to be seen, and we'll find out later on this evening over on Thriller TV or TNA Plus. Now, the next bit I was really, really looking forward to. Jonathan Gresham is sitting down, walks in Santino Marella. There are rocks in the road, but it's hopefully time for smooth sailing. He's excited for Gresham's return match against Kushida, of all people. Throughout the whole of this match, throughout the whole of this segment, Gresham is seated in the chair. He shakes Santino's hand and leaves. And then after Santino leaves, the octopus version of Jonathan Gresham appears seated next to Jonathan Gresham. And then it cuts to the back where Santino has got some black gunk on his hands, and he can't wash it off. Every time he washes it off, it keeps coming back, and he's looking at Strange and son of a gun, as Santino Marella would say. But Kushida and Gresham, take my money, TNA. Well, you've took it already for Under Siege, but my goodness gracious me, Kushida and Gresham is going to tear the roof off the place. Now it was time for Joe Hendry's apology to AJ Francis. AJ Francis is sitting up in the VIP section. Joe Hendry is in the ring, and he said, "Look, the only way I can apologize is through the way of spot." He actually done, I think it was AJ Styles' own theme at one point, mocking AJ's NFL career as well. He then done a second song, which was AJ's being banned from driving. Swan's up there as diving. Sorry, not driving, diving after he landed on his head. Swan's joining him at the VIP section at this point. But then Joe says, look, it's finally time for his apology song. But before he went low, he was taking things higher, and he sung a copy of Creed's version of Higher. And he said he's sorry for making fun of them, but it's too easy. There was a photo of Rich Swann and AJ Francis where AJ's hand was on Rich's backside. And the song wasn't Higher. It was called Can You Please Get Fired? Because it's happened twice before. The audience in this is, well, brilliant. They even join in with the chorus as well. He closes it with I'm sorry. So he did actually apologize to AJ, but not in the way that AJ probably wanted it. It was so funny. Like Joe Hendry right now in wrestling is probably one of the most over people now ever because of what's been going on. You know, this whole thing. He's such a great character to have around. And well, he's probably not finished with AJ Francis or Rich Swann yet. But hilariously funny. That was. The sit got serious now though, because the system went down to the ramp for an interview with Jai Miller. There's asking about the sixth man. He said Alicia will bring the goal. Or Eddie was saying Alicia will bring the goal to the system. And then when you see the poster for for Under Siege has for the system, it's because TNA hates to admit it, but they need them. Brian Myers then gets on the mic and says how Speedball Mountain got into the match and that they're riding Max coattails, Matt Hardy. Moose says Under Siege is a return of a TNA legend, but Moose has become a TNA legend while Hardy's gone. So the system can't be deleted, and Speedball Mountain Hardy will be deleted. And Alicia finishes with just got to trust the system. Now a really great match next. Ace Austin, Trey Miguel, the winner goes on to face Ali for the X Division Championship. This match was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. These two guys I could watch all day long. They're extremely talented. There was a click, boom from Ace Austin during this as well. There was getting a bit of distraction from Zachary Wentz at ringside. But eventually, Ace Austin gets the face stomp to the mat and hits the fold for the victory. Ace Austin will go on to face Mustafa Ali for the X Division Championship at Under Siege. Now, coincidentally, that's the title that Chris Bay was going before when they had a little bit of dissension within Bullet Club ABC. So is that going to cause more dissension now between Ace Austin and Chris Bay? Now, Ace Austin has got the opportunity. How's Chris Bay going to react to it? What's Ace Austin's excuse going to be? Considering it was Ace Austin that was going off at Chris Bay for taking the opportunity and not focusing on the tag team championships, which they lost. Chris Bay went for the X Division title and was unsuccessful. Ace Austin's now got that opportunity, and one wonders whether that's going to cause some issues within the ranks of Bullet Club ABC. There was one more promo before the main event. That was Josh Alexander and Eric Young. And he says sometimes it doesn't have to be complicated. This is simple. He doesn't like Kazarian. He doesn't like Macklin. Young says the same thing. And this is real simple. Two guys wear their emotions on their sleeve and rep everything good in the business are coming at Frankie and Steve. Macklin and Kazarian versus Alexander and Eric Young Under Siege tomorrow night on Free TV and TNA+. Main event time for the Knockouts Championship. Ash by Elegance is watching in the balcony. Jordan Grace versus Mayuno Yamashita. There was a nice little handshake to start this match. Really good, solid Knockouts championship match. These two can really go. Good back and forth. Gave Grace a really good match as well, Yamashita, in this. But as she went for the skull kick, Grace blocks it. The Juggernaut driver picks up the victory. Hard-hitting war. They were so well matched. It was a really good battle between these two. Would love to see that again down the road for sure in TNA. Yamashita is a very capable athlete in the Knockouts division, and that Jordan Grace train just keeps rolling. But that was not all. At the end of the match, there was a nice show of respect between Yamashita and Jordan Grace. Grace poses with the title, and all of a sudden, she turns around and Steph Belanda kicks her down and orders Con to break her neck. He goes to do it. The lights go out. They come back on, and here's PCO, and he chops Con Grace hit him with the low blow. Coleman sent to the outside. At that point, Steph DeLander has clotheslined Jordan Grace. PCO backs up to the corner with a goozle ready for the around the throat. Steph DeLander then tries to seduce PCO, but Jordan Grace grabs her and tosses her to the outside, and that is how Impact Wrestling ends ahead of tonight's Under Siege pay-per-view. Should be an absolute cracker of a show. Thriller TV, TNA Plus. We'll be reviewing it on Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an Impact review show on the channel. We look forward to watching Under Siege. You look forward to seeing all of our review shows, all of our interviews coming up this weekend as well. And we'll be back with everything. But if you're just joining us for TNA, hit the channel back on Monday. It'll be back live for the TNA Under Siege review show with me, your host, Adam Cousins. And until then, everybody, have a good weekend now. Bye.